ironically, the more, financially well off you become, it actually becomes harder and harder to be willing to take the same amount of risk. So, here you are in your 20s, whenever you're really in a perfect spot to take risk. Some of those folks are not willing to, but it's really the best opportunity. I've read at least that a lot of the millennials and Gen Z are becoming more risk averse, which is too bad. But I remember Carlos giving us very specific advice. He was sharing like his thoughts on risk and your youth. He said, coming out of college, imagine the business world like a wave pool, and a wave pool at like, Schlitterbahn or something. And you think about what most people do coming out of college is they just enter in, right there at the children's area where the waves are breaking at your knees and you can stand up, and they just sort of gradually go into the deeper end over, the course of their career and hope they wind up there. You see, that's really an unfortunate way of thinking about it. What you ought to do is, instead of starting in the water, kind of walk along the edge and walk to the place that you think, if I jump in here, I just might drown, and jump, because there's some way, somehow you're going to get saved. And that experience of fighting for your life, you're at your best to do that in your 20s.
Wow.
The 40-year-old, that's got kids, that's got a mortgage, that's got a couple $100,000 in their 401k, very unlikely to be willing to take the same amount of risk and to put all their chips in the table as that 20-year-old.